Hello and good day. For our report for quantity survey, we would cover hardware and plumbing. So I would give a brief introduction first and then I would cover bolts. So the quantity survey method is the most detailed method among the cost estimation methods because this requires the breakdown of all components of a building and estimate the cost of the material and installation properly. Quantity surveying is very important because aside from the fact that it is required at the very start, um, at the end of the day, constructing buildings, roads, uh, it's business. So resources have got to be maximized and everything's got to be done efficiently. So okay, for bolts. So what is a bolt? A bolt is a pin or a rod with a head at one end threaded at another end to receive a nut. There are four kinds of bolt. The first one we have the machine bolt. It has a head at one end and a short stud at the other end. The next type of bolt is the countersunk bolt. It has a beveled head fitting into a countersunk hole. Uh, the other one is the key head bolt. It has a head shape and fitted into a groove that will not turn when the nut is screwed into the other end. And lastly, we have the stud bolt. It is a headless bolt. Now we have here a US standard thread of bolts. So, for example, a bolt which has a length of 10 millimeters, it could have a diameter ranging from 1.44 millimeter to 12.6. Okay, so moving on, it is very important to be able to read screw dimensions. There are two ways of doing that. There are also two ways of labeling screw dimensions. We have the US or imperial method and the metric method. So for the US, so a quarter 20 by 2, that would mean that the diameter of the screw is a quarter of an inch and there would be 20 threads per inch because the US or imperial method, they use threads per inch. So a uh, quarter of a diameter. The diameter is quarter of an inch, and there would be 20 threads per inch, and the length of the screw would be 2 inches. There would be 40 threads. For the metrics, for the metric system, it's a little bit different because they use the distance between two peaks. Okay, so M2 0.4 by 5, that would mean that the diameter would be 2 millimeters and the distance between peaks would be 0.4 millimeters and the length would be 5 millimeters. So that's for the metric. Now, when you're estimating the uh, length of the bolt, um, it depends on the situation. So if there's a post or splice strap involved, the length would be 25 millimeters plus the width. Okay, and for the post and single beam, it would simply be the thickness and the width. For a post and two beams with the same thickness with a 25 millimeter depth, it will be width plus twice the thickness subtracted by 25 millimeters. Now, for a post with two beams of different thickness, it would be width plus the thickness, the first beam, and the thickness of the other one minus 25 millimeters. Lastly, for the trusses, it's thickness of the member layer in layer plus 25 millimeter. So this ends my report. Next up would be screws and nails. Thank you.
Good day everyone. So I am here to talk about screws and nails. So first one to talk about is screws. So screw is a short, slender, sharp, pointed metal pin with a raised helical thread running around it and a slotted head used to join things together by being rotated so that it pierces wood or other material and is held tightly in place. So, there are four advantages of using screws over nails. So, first one is that it is greater in holding power. Next, it is neater in appearance. Next is that it can be removed in case of repair. And lastly, it is lesser chance of damaging the material. So, wood screw. Wood screw is a screw nail with a handed coarse thread to give a thread. Wood screws are commonly available with flat, pan, or oval heads. A wood screw generally has a partially unthreaded shank below the head. So the materials used are iron, bronze, brass, copper, and steel. So this is the shapes of the head of screws. So actually there are a lot of types of head styles. So for instance, there's oval, round, truss, indented hex, and the likes. So for the shape of the point, so there are three shapes of the point. So first one is the standard one, next is the coarse, and lastly the full length. So duty. So there are two types, wood screws and lag screws. The first one is used for light loads while the latter is for heavy duty. Now for the length of screws, so length is measured from the point at which the head sits flat with the surface to the tip of the threads. Hex, pan, truss, button, socket cap, and round head screws are measured from right under the head to the end of the threads. Now the three shapes of points. So first is the gimlet. It is used on wood and coach screws. Next is diamond, is used when more driving is done before turning. And lastly, the conical. So it is same as the diamond. Now this table shows the standard wood screw and number per kilogram. So it is presented here the standard wood screw and number per kilogram. Next is some examples of screws. So these are some examples of the screws. So these are as you can see the examples of wood screws, the machine screws, thread cutting machine screws, and etc. Next one is nails. So the first nails were made of wrought iron. Nails date back at least to ancient Egypt. Bronze nails found in Egypt have been dated 3,400. So the cross-sectional shape of nails. So first one is the cut. So in some cases it is preferred over wire nails. So this is the cut. Next is the wire. Wire is what we typically see. So this is the wire nail. So it's usually what we used in construction, what we normally used in some of the constructions that we see. So types of nails according to size. So first one is a tack. Tack is a small sharp pointed nail with tapering on both sides and a thin flat head. They are mainly used in carpets, and in fastening any kind of thin materials. So we are all familiar with thumbtacks, or tacks. So it is a type of nail. Next one is spring. Spring is a small headless nails, sometimes called barbed dowel pins. The regular size of sprigs ranges from 12 millimeter to 5 centimeter gauge. Number 8 wire or 4 millimeter in diameter. Next is brads. Small slender nails with small deep threads. The common variety is made in sizes from 2.5 centimeter or in diameter, or 2.5 centimeter 2D to 15 centimeter 6D in length, while the flooring brads come in 5 centimeter to 10 centimeter. Next one is the nails. The popular name for all kinds of nails except those of extreme sizes such as tacks and spikes. The most generally used are called common nails, and they range from 2.5 centimeter to 15 centimeter. Next is spikes. An ordinary stout metal spike has a length of 7.5 centimeter to 30 centimeter, much thicker in proportion compared to ordinary nails. They are used in jobs that require the use of large timber, docks, piers, railroad tracks, etc. So there are two kinds of spikes. So first is the flathead diamond point, and next is the oval head chisel point. So these are the images of the flathead diamond point and oval head chisel point. The following slides shows different tables that are used in essential in this chapter or this topic. So first is the number of wire tracks per kilo. Next is for flooring brads, common wire nails, common brads, and common spikes. And lastly, the table and approximate quantity of nails. So for a sample problem, a wall partition 20 meter long by 3 meters high specifically used of 1 inch by 8 inch stone cut wood board on studs at 0.60 meter OC. Determine the nails required for the studs and the wood board. So for the nail studs, first we are going to take the area, which is 20 meter by 3 meter equals to 60 square meter. And because going back to the table, so if you're going to look at the stud, so it is highlighted here, the 0.60 millimeter OC. So we are gonna multiply the area by 0.5. So 60 times 0.05 rather equals to 3 kilos, and 8D the size CW nail. So from the last table along stud at 0.60 meter OC. So that's it. That's the answer. It's 3 kilos for nail for the studs. Next is nails for the 1 by 8 wood board. So first, again, we're gonna take the area, and then looking back at the table, so for wood board, so wood board, there's 1 by 8 and multiply it by 0.06. So we have 3.6 kilos. So we rounded off to 4 kilos, since there's we rounded off to 4 kilos. And then following in the table is the size of 6D and HCW nail. So it is also from the table. So that's it, and that's the end of my report. Thank you for listening.
Good day everyone, I am Julia Biao Pimanunog, and I'm going to discuss about the Plumbing Works Quantity Survey. So first, let us define what is the plumbing system. Plumbing system comprises the whole system of pipe fittings and appliances used for water supply and drainage. In the supply and drainage system, different pipes are used with different purposes. These are pipes used for the supply and service as well as the drain and waste disposal. For the supply pipes or the service pipes, these are pipes which are leading from the distribution main of water to the plumbing system of the building. So the service pipes are made from different materials like copper pipes, galvanized iron pipes, polythene pipes, and the lead pipes. So copper pipes are used when the groundwater is highly corrosive. It is because copper have high corrosive resistance when compared to other materials. They also have considerable strength and ductility. Galvanized iron pipes or steel pipes are very economical, but they corrode easily in soft and acid waters. These are used in places where chances of corrosion is less or in hard water areas. Polythene pipes or plastic pipes are used for cold water services because they do not corrode and they are also resistant to bacterial scale and they are easy to install. Lead pipe has high corrosion resistance, flexibility, and hydraulic coefficient of flow, but but lead content in water may lead to poisoning effects, which are harmful for the people. So this kind of pipe is not preferred. Next is the drain pipes or the waste disposal pipe. So wastewater is not carried by a single pipe, but instead, these are different pipes are arranged to dispose the waste like the soil pipe, wastewater pipe, rainwater pipe, vent pipe, and the anti-siphonage pipe. So soil pipe, there carries human excreta from water closet to the septic tank. Wastewater pipe carries only the liquid waste from the kitchen and the wash basins. Rainwater pipe, they carries rainwater from the roof during the rains. So by providing this type of pipe, you can prevent the accumulation of water on the rooftop. So the vent pipe provides for the ventilation purpose of the to facilitate the exit of foul gases into atmosphere. So it is open in the top and the bottom. Anti-siphonage pipe is installed for the purpose of preserving the water seal of traps in the drainage system. So this is very helpful to seal the backflow of the drainage. There are also drainage pipe based on material of manufacturing such as the concrete pipes, cast iron pipes, stoneware pipes, PVC pipes, and the asbestos cement pipes. Concrete pipes are only made of concrete, so there are no reinforcement provided. It is also precasted pipes. Next is the cast iron pipes, which are made by pouring molten into the sand molds. So they are used for rainwater disposal and wastewater disposal. Stoneware pipes are manufactured in ceramic industries by burning soft soil in high temperature. So these are used for carrying drainage in the underground. PVC pipes are used for supply system and drainage system. So these kind of pipes are very economical and easy to maintain. Asbestos cement pipes are very cheap compared to all of the types of pipe, but they can break easily. So they are provided as vent pipes, soil pipes, and rainwater pipe. Next is the plumbing fixture. So plumbing fixtures are a receptacle or device that is connected to a water supply or discharge to a drainage system. Such receptacle or devices require a supply of water or discharge liquid waste or liquid-borne solid waste. So these are some of the examples of fixtures: the water closet, bidet, shower, sink, and faucet. This is the typical pipe sizing for the fixtures and the plumbing fixtures and appliances. Next is the example. So this is an example of quantity survey of plumbing works. So estimating the material used for plumbing is much easier compared to the other, like the concrete quantity survey, because it does not involve calculation. So mostly the plumbing work quantity survey is done by just counting the materials needed. So for example, in the septic tank, the materials needed were listed as well as the quantity needed and the unit. So the materials needed for each part, so example sa septic tank, catch basin, the waste sewer, the water line, and the fixture were listed differently.
So that's it, guys, for our report. And for our reference, we used the book of Max Fajardo and the link that is being flashed on your screen. Thank you and have a good day.